I'm starting the recording for our knowledge. I have 7 people, 33 to go, Elizabeth. 33 people to go, so that this meeting will be worth it, worth our time. All right. So so we want to thank God for, another great day, another awesome day, another good day. And it's great to see you. It's also great. It was also awesome to see those who managed to join the in-person meeting yesterday. So I want to appreciate. I will probably have some of those meetings. I know Mars wants us to come to Benin. We'll probably be in Calabar next year. So I don't know whether we'll come to Benin, but let's see how that goes. I don't know whether we also have another Accra this year, depending on how engaged those of us in Accra are. All right, let me start by saying, somebody has put something in the chat already. Yes. Okay, that's an acknowledgement. Thank you, Zoe. Thank you for joining. Let me start by saying, I will share something that Roger Martin shared. I keep referencing him because I read some of his books. He said that you are either playing to win or you're playing to play, right? You're just playing to play. In many cases, we are just trying to be in the game. We're playing to play. But the encouragement is that we should play to win. And winning has several connotations for different people. Winning has different connotations for different people. For you, winning, it depends on your context, right? And winning ties to your winning aspiration. What are you desirous of, right? What do you want? What are you trying to accomplish, right? What are you trying to deliver on the earth? What has God put in your heart? Or what have you imagined, right? You know, a vision can either be by revelation or by imagination, right? It can be by revelation or by imagination. And there are scriptural references for that. You know, Jesus said that whoever comes to me, I will in no wise cast out. At the same time, he says, no one can come to me except the Father who sent me calls him to me. There are some people that they offer themselves. He who desires the office of a bishop desires a good thing. At the same time, it's also said that let not many of you become teachers. And it's also, it gives us the notation that some people have to be explicitly called into ministry. So the vision can be by revelation. It can also be imagination. But whatever it is, the encouragement we're given is that when you are playing, when you have come into the game, the idea is that you are coming in to win. You are coming in not just to be a player, not just to be someone that is part of the rest of the crowd, but you are coming in to actually deliver something. All right. That said, one of the things, before I go, there are 2 main things we're going to share in today's conversation, and I do hope we have many more of us join to listen to this. Right? There are 2 things. One is our Diaspora Fund. The other is questions, feedback from the platform. And we're going to start from that. We're going to start from the TSC Africa platform. The idea of a monthly question and answer is to say, I have been consuming this content. I have been consuming these lessons. I have been going through these trainings. I've been interacting on the platform, but I need to have a conversation that brings the reality of these theories into my own experience. That's the idea. How do I bring this reality? How do I make this real to me? That's one of the things we want to address. And that's why we make these opportunities available. A lot of times people chat me privately. They come to the inbox and say, I need this or that. I have this problem or that problem. You will agree with me. And I don't know, how many of you know that this is not my full-time job yet? Just give me a thumbs up or raise your hand. If you know that I actually have a job that I do 9 to 5 every day. Who knows? If you know, raise your hand, or you don't know. Okay. So I'm telling you right now that I do have. So in that, I remember we did a poll during in the. Okay, there's a chat. We did a poll in the group. Thank you for responding. And we asked how many people have a day job and they have a side hustle. I'm one of those people. So you can imagine that I don't have bandwidth to interact with 143 people one-on-one. Now, for those who do executive coaching one-on-one, maybe they are going to be charging 1,000, 1,500. So it is worth it. $1,500, that is. It is worth it spending time with somebody one-on-one. But when we have a mass of people, I have to have creative ways to release value without consuming excessive amounts of time. Creative ways to release value without consuming excessive amounts of time. That is why we have these Zoom meetings where you come in and then you have already interacted with the with content we have released, and you now want to personalize it in the context of these conversations. That's the reason why we should have a periodic interaction like this, so that the theory, it doesn't remain theory for you. So that said, I'm going to open up the TSC platform, and I'm going to just start from there before we go into the funding, so that I will try to get to know whether there's anything you want me to clarify for those of you who have gone through the initial program. I'll show you some of the other programs that we've had. So let me share my screen. Are we still together? Are we together on the platform? Have I made sense so far? Imagination versus
yes, sir, you have.
awesome. And then interactions. Can we be more creative about it? That's why we put this platform, because it's the same me. And I'll run you through a few things. One, when you come to the platform, those of you who have come there, this is literally what you generally see. There's a feed here on the left that shows you the number of what's basically been happening. Every 2 days, every 3 days, thereabout, I release something that occurs to me based on experience. It's a recording. You can click on it. You can watch the video. You can, it's actually a video, so you can actually watch it, but just show you how to do it. Some people, maybe the issue is that you don't know how to do that. Sometimes that's the issue. But you can actually watch this live recordings. You can be there live and you can watch it later. And these are just tips, right? These are just tips that we, put out there based on what we've been teaching, right? And I could be anywhere. I could be in the office and I'm able to do it in the morning before I start work. I could be at home, my desk, and you see some of those there. So this appears in the feed. But the main place where this is showing up is actually in the village square. This is our community where everything happens. It is very possible for you to also yourself share something you've learned, or ask a question, or respond to a post here, right? There's a chat, facility where we can actually interact. If I say hi here, likely everybody gets it. So there is actually an interactive portion here. And it's all together in one platform. And the feed also shows the progress of posts. You will also see our events, what is coming up in this portion here. This Q&A is happening today and is currently happening. And the ideal thing would be that when you see the event posted, you actually do a reservation. Indicate that you intend to attend. That way we have an idea of how many people are likely to come. Now, another very important thing I'd like to show you, does that make sense so far? Does it make sense what I just said? Does it make sense? Did I communicate? You can give me a thumbs up with your reactions. Yeah. Hello, Uche. Hello, Yetunde. Thank you for joining. Yes, please. Make sense. Thank you so much. Yes, sir. Okay. Now, another thing that happens here, the landing page or the basic access gives you the access to this course. And as you can see, this is work in progress. It's not finished. And that's the beauty of a membership platform. We can always refine it. We can always get feedback, refine, add knowledge, right? If you've gone through any of the content, this is what it looks like. It starts with a use case, a very popular case study rather of Southwest Airlines, and how they communicate to us what strategy means. So you begin with existing knowledge, what has been done before. Then you begin to ask, how does it apply to me? You go into definitions from different masters, right? Of the concept of strategy. And you begin to ask yourself, what does this mean to me and how can I leverage it? Whether you're a career person or a business person. So it goes on and on and on. You go into the career choice cascade and so forth, right? Now, this is basic access. That's what you see. And it begins with those 5 questions. What is your winning aspiration? Where do you want to play? How do you want to win? What core capabilities must be in place? What management systems? This all look like a lot of English, but it is relatable to whatever you are doing, whether you're a business person or a career person. Now, when you get to another level, you will observe when you get beyond the basic access into premium, into advanced access, you will discover that there is additional content in, if you remember, how many of you remember simple technology for small business? If you remember, you've ever been there. Have you ever been in one? Yes. Is this Mighty app on display, please? Yes, Zoe. This is Mighty app on display. This is our platform on Mighty. Yeah, so this is who remembers STSB? Let me see who remembers. Yeah, let me just use this up. All right, STSB. Yes, please, been on STSB. Zoe has been on STSB. I just admitted Miriam. Yeah. So if you've been on STSB, what we are now doing is we are moving STSB to this platform. And the obvious reason is, number one, like I mentioned earlier, we have to make the best use of our time. So how do we communicate the content without saying, let's gather everybody pay $25, etc. How about you pay $15 and you have access to this anytime you like? Anytime you like. Yet you also have the privilege of interaction, of asking questions, of monthly asking questions, or having the conversations, saying, what does this mean to me? So STSB is coming here as well, and it's unfolding, right? We had the first course, Common Sense Customer Experience. We're translating it to this, and it's richer. You recognize some of the content, but you also recognize that there's a lot of richness, a lot of added value in articulating it in this context. So that course, Unpleasant Customer Experience, if you remember when we did Common Sense Customer Experience, these are some of the, some of you were there when we reflected on some of these indicators of unpleasant customer experience and so forth. So it goes on and on with all the other courses. Now, the same thing has happened with, I'll come back to work thoughts. The same thing has happened with IIS. We're also building out IIS on the platform, right? You can see it's the community, so you can interact, you can ask questions, you can learn from others, right? And you can also look at the content in terms of what does it take to do a pitch. We have some recordings here, some examples, we have some text, and we are leveraging what we've done practically with others to actually communicate this teaching. Then finally, this is the advanced access for professionals. I have unleashed myself. You see, anyone who is around me who decides that I don't have something to offer you, I am very happy because I can't help everyone. That's the truth. I'm not omnipotent. No, none of us is omnipotent. All of us have our giftings. Mighty Uche is here. It's good with finance. Long ago, he was releasing finance. There was a decision I was trying to make one time about buying a certain land. He said, I don't buy that, so expensive and so forth. So he knows those things and he shares. Some of you have other capabilities, other things, which, and mind you, some of these capabilities, you may even be able to bring them within this space, but that's another conversation. But the point is that I can't help everyone. But for those that I can help, I am doing what I can to make sure that I can really help them effectively in a structured manner, and they can actually grow. So I did these recordings to share practical experiences in terms of career growth, which I have implement. I applied strategy to career growth. It didn't happen by chance, and every time I'm always reflecting on it. Am I telling people a lie? I can't tell you go and pray, God will open a door, because I will be lying to you, because that's not how it works. And we talked about it yesterday, about what a miracle is. I would be lying to you if I tell you I prayed and God opened my eye. No, there are some things that God did explicitly and keep sharing it. But there is also a way you position yourself to be sought out, to be identified, to be found, using the tools that are available to you, because not everyone has everything. I don't have a godfather. I don't have godfathers. I don't have that long legs. So if I share my stories, it's in my context, right? And I try to share the stories because there are many ways to do many things in this life. I'm only sharing one way. So you may find it useful to you, you may not. But the reason I keep exposing it is I want you, if you're around, see how you can find it useful to yourself, right? So here, in each of these stories, I share the principles, I share the story in the video, right? And I share the takeaways, practical takeaways for each of them. This is particularly for career professionals. So you see that I took the time to share my personal story, deep stuff, all right? So that where we started at the beginning and how we did that, I took the time to share it. So that's very important. And I share it with typical experiences from the beginning, through different organizations. I unleash the principles. I share it real stuff, because that is where I have done this and made it happen. That is why I can tell you that it is a real thing. But I cannot tell you that it is magic. It's not magic. It's not come today, you blow tomorrow. It doesn't work that way. Nothing works that way in this present world. So in other words, this is another area for working professionals. And remember that poll that we did? We did that poll for to say, are you a full-time worker? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you doing both? And in all cases, there are insights that you can get from each of these levels of access. Make sense? Are we together? Are we together? Thumbs up, chat, whichever one is convenient for you. I just want to be sure you're listening so that you don't waste this hour. Never waste an hour. All right, thank you. Awesome. So That's enough advertising. So what you want to do is ask yourself, can I afford $2 a month to start with the basic access? Because we want to tell your story. I don't want to just collect money from people. I want to be able, hello Jiro, good to see you. I don't want to, yeah, hello Lucky, how are you? I don't want to say, I don't want to just collect money from people, you know. Ah, Peter, how are you? Okay, nice, welcome, welcome. I told them earlier that next year we're coming to Calabar, so be ready. I'm sure you can easily come to Calabar from Uyo. Good. So essentially, we've shared these things. Don't we've tried to make these things available. And we've tried to do it in such a way that we don't have to stretch ourselves too much. We just make the knowledge available. People consume it, then we'll come back monthly, ask questions. I used to work in EcoBank, yes, lucky. I left EcoBank in February 2023, right? I left to MasterCard Foundation. Okay. Okay, yes. So generally so I've worked in 4 companies, by the way, lucky, and I shared them. These are, if you're a career person, you will find this interesting. I've been in the telco, Airtel Nigeria. Before then, I was in an ISP. I shared some of those stories here, right? Yes, Koja, I work with your father in EcoBank. That's how I knew your father. Okay, that's EcoBank e-process. Then I have a lot of stuff shared from those experiences, which young people in the industry can benefit from. All right, so so that's for that. So the point here is access the platform, consume the content. Important, don't give me free money. If you give me free money, I'll collect, but don't give me free money. Consume the content and let's interact. Let's ask questions. Let's find out how much you can do. And that's one of the reasons for this sessions, that you can come back and say, Uncle Kenneth, you said this. This is not how I experienced it in my own life. What do you think? You can rub minds, because strategy does not guarantee that you will just blow. What it says is position yourself in a way that gives you the most advantage, the most possibility of success in your chosen area of endeavor. Position yourself, right? No, in fact, my EcoBank was in Ghana, so maybe it's somebody else. Thank you, Lucky. All right. So let's switch from that. I hope I have. Yeah, the premium platform is on. Yeah, this is it. This is we have the premium platform will give you access to simple technology for small business here, and interactive ideation session. I talked about that, and I also talked about Work Thoughts. Work Thoughts is the premium platform, the advanced platform for professionals in IT. But when you have premium, you have all access. And when you have premium, you have one-on-one weekly calls with me. I'm doing it with one person now. What it means is we actually delve into your own scenario. Because like I said, I can't do that for everybody. We have one-on-one weekly calls where we say, okay, what do I stand to gain from this training? Was it's ongoing, so I'll get back to you, Lucky, so that I don't interrupt too much. What was I saying? Yeah, so the whole platform gives you that insight in terms of if you do the premium, you get access to all levels. The premium is like everything, everything is concentric, all access. So yes, the premium is available. We've started putting stuff there, and the more you engage, the more we refine. The more you engage, the more we refine. So that's by the way. So I'm going to stop sharing this because we need to go into another thing. And I'm going to open up and ask, do you have any questions? Now, I have a question from Lucky. What do I stand to gain from this training? The way I will respond to that is, number one, this is not a training. This is a membership platform that I have shown you. Strategy Club is a community of emerging entrepreneurs who are using strategy tools and techniques to accelerate their impact, accelerate themselves in their career, in their business. What is strategy? In summary, how do you position yourself using what is available to you to give yourself the best possible advantage in your venture. And we talk about the different ways in which to position yourself. We have a whole course on strategy in the basic access. And we say this is also a community trying to help each other grow, learn. And we are not promising you that when you put, it's not money doubling. It is ongoing iteration, refining your approach to what you're doing. And we give examples on the platform. We share some things on the WhatsApp group as well. Today's meeting is to address just 2 or 3 things. Number one, it is supposed to be a monthly meeting where after you have engaged on the platform, tscafrica.com, and that's something that Elizabeth, you should always be putting in our faces. After you have engaged on the platform, right? After you've engaged on the platform, you say, oh, I have questions. I want to understand this better. Then we can talk deeper. We can apply to your situation, because not everyone's situation is the same. And we don't just want to be releasing unnecessary knowledge, because one of the principles we have is that knowledge upon which you can take no action is hardly worth having. If you've been here for a while, you will have heard that before. So we know that there are a lot of trainings out there. We want to ask ourselves, how does it really make for transformation? I hope that makes sense. So if you want more, you can just chat Elizabeth. She'll tell you more about our platform, more about our engagements, and more about what we've done before. Yes, Mars has a question. Mars says, Uncle K, at what point can you say was the turning point for you through the journey of bringing TSC to this level? That's an interesting level. The level at which we are still growing, as far as I know. But one of the lessons is that there are a few lessons. I'll share some of them. One is we have to deal with people based on their level of exposure, because my business is with emerging entrepreneurs, and sometimes I find that they experience some interesting things. For example, sometimes Zoom and data is a problem, right? Just having Zoom is it. When I say emerging entrepreneurs, those who they don't have Godfather, they don't have a big sponsorship, because we believe in bootstrapping, pulling yourself up from the boots, because not everyone can benefit from funding from US, right? I work for a development organization. Not everyone can benefit. Very few people will get $100,000 or $50,000. And the journey is long and hard, right? So we try to say, how can you bootstrap using strategy, using tools that are available, using digital tools, using your brain, using networks, relationships, using knowledge that is available. How can you bootstrap? How can you pull yourself up without waiting for external help? So you don't have a Godfather, but you have grit, you have resilience, you have knowledge, you have networks, so forth. So I've learned that, look, we have to continually iterate, change the way things are to meet people where they are. I've also learned that I myself have to be resilient, because it's not as easy as that to bring people up, especially when you are not promising them what they want to hear. What people want to hear is come and take 1 million naira. But that is not always what helps them. Because when you don't know what you're doing, you will always exhaust the money. It's only a matter of time. If I give you 100,000, maybe you take 5 years to exhaust it and you come back to where you are. If I give you $100,000, if I give you 100,000 naira, maybe it will take you 3 months to exhaust it and come back to where you are. Then we start the story all over again. But there is a level of capacity you can build. Yeah, $1 million. There's a level of capacity you can build where you know how to navigate. And even in the ups and downs of life, because there are ups and downs of life. It is the way you have structured yourself that will help you navigate and still keep leveraging each level to move to the next, to navigate. And I can tell you stories upon stories in terms of my own career and so, but then that is not the subject of today. Thank you for that question. Thank you, Zoe, for quoting that. Only knowledge can be acted on, and we're willing to act on it, what have you. Okay, so at this point, I will have taken questions from the strategy course that you're taking, but I know that not many people have taken that course. So I'm going to push that up. unless you are telling me you looked at the course and you have a question from the course, I'm happy to take your questions now. If not, I'm going to move into the Diaspora Fund. Are we together? Can I move on? Yeah. By training application knowledge, I'll revelate every stage of my books. Good. Yeah. That's the principle. Can I move on? Are we together? Yes. Thumbs up. Thank you so much. Okay. I'm going to be looking at and I thank God for Mars's question, because it also spills to what I'm going to talk about now. As much as I want everyone to get to the point where they're able to pull themselves up, I also realize that it's very hard for people, especially in Nigeria, especially in Africa, because of the economy. And that brings me to a point. There's very little you can do to change how things are in your external environment. Very little you can do. So when those things, certain things are beyond you, we analyze them based on a framework called PESTEL. You know, it's a framework for evaluating the external environment. But your response to that external environment is, how do I position myself to still be an advantage? And yesterday, my brother and I were talking about the fact that some people who are doing imports, they are probably surviving and thriving better in an economy where the dollar is changing rapidly than those who are relying on a day-to-day, on a monthly salary. Because they import the thing, the price change, they just raise the price significantly based on, and they are making so much money because, well, the economy says the price has changed, even though they bought that stuff at the lower, rate. They sell it at much higher price than what they bought it, and they have money to buy the next one and so forth. So some people have the advantage because of the economy. So the question is there a way to have an advantage? Some people have the advantage because they have certain skills that allow them to work for companies outside the country. And they position themselves using digital platforms to attract those kinds of deals. And they are sitting in Nigeria and earning dollars and not paying taxes. That's not a good thing, but that's the reality. They are not paying taxes. They are free. They are working from home. They have skills that are available. So they position themselves by learning a skill that is in demand globally, and they are getting money from outside. Some people have other ways of positioning themselves. They tie themselves to people who have the free money. People in Ghana, a lot of people are building houses, high rise. And I can tell you, I don't know, I can't tell you for a fact, but many of those high rises are from money laundering. But the truth is that the house is now there. So somebody positions themselves as an interior decorator. As long as the houses are there, there are jobs to do. And I was telling my wife that if a house is selling for $620,000, there was an actual house like that. We went to the place and checked it out. $620,000, one house, right? And you don't have to build the house. All you have to do is to sell the house. Find somebody who can buy it, and you get 2% of 600. Somebody calculate it and give me the answer. Chat. You just have to sell one house. Maybe if you sell 3 houses in a year, you're okay. If you are selling a house that costs $620,000, right? And there are 8 billion people on the planet. So the question for you is, how do I reach the people that can buy a house for $620,000? If there was no one in the world that can buy a house for $620,000, they won't put that price on it. It's demand and supply, right? It's not $124. 2% of $620,000. It can't be $124. So let me calculate it for you. 0.02 times 6 to 20, 1 to 3, right? It's $12,000. It's $12,400. So now, how much is 12,400 in Naira? 12,400 in Naira. Multiply by 1,700. Okay, maybe I could have said cities because it's in Ghana, but just to do it. So this is 21 million, right? So if you sell one house in a year, that means you just push yourself the whole 300 days of the year. You are looking for one person, one out of 8 billion in the world that can buy a house for $620,000. You will make 21 million naira. You don't need another job if you are able to do that, right? So that's, by the way, there is, what I'm just saying is, despite the challenges, sometimes there's a way to position yourself to attract a certain thing. If you're focused on it, that gives you an advantage, a possible advantage. It's not guaranteed. Not every, if it was easy, everybody would do it. That gives you a possible advantage, even in the midst of chaos, right? So the point there, sometimes it starts with, can you think of those possibilities, and can you overcome the difficulties to arrive there? That last example I gave is a real example. They are those people selling their house, they are looking for agents, and they are paying 2%, and you don't even have to have a company. You just have to bring a buyer. But that's by the way. So where was I going with this? I was going with the fact that, excuse me, given the realities of our economies, we said, okay, let's help. Let's find a way to help, so that at least while you are looking for that person that can buy that can buy the house, you will have something to survive on for now. So we launched the Diaspora Fund. In fact, I don't think we have finished established the name. Have we established the name? But I think it's Diaspora Fund, and it's an evolution of the pitch competition. Who remembers the pitch competition? Who remembers the pitch competition? Nobody? Some people here have won. Yeah. Yes, it's an evolution of the pitch competition. This time around, we're raising the game a little bit, right? We are giving away 200,000 naira or 2,000 cedis. Please, if you heard the amount, let me know in the chat. 200,000 naira. So it's only Nigeria and Ghana for now. 200. If we get a few people from Kenya, we can do Kenya so that we can just focus. Yeah, it's 200,000 naira every 2 months. So we are going to start in February. We're going to have every 2 months. We're going to release 200,000 naira. Now that 200,000 naira will be to only one person. That is what we can do for now. And I want to tell everybody, please, it is benefactor-beneficial relationships. We don't owe you money, right? But we are just giving you an opportunity to learn to compete, because in this world, the world is about competition. When you go for a job interview, you are competing with several other people. If you win, you get the job. If you don't win, you go home. It's not, there's no, what do you call it? Emotion about it. So it's competition. You have to learn to compete. You have to learn to push yourself, right? So number one, it is not a debt. We don't owe you, right? But we are making available an opportunity for you to learn through competition, number one. And we're also making an opportunity for you to bootstrap yourself, which means you have a small idea that can fit into that budget. Then you will arrange your pitch around it and tell us, this is what I want to do. It's going to cost this. I know it can work because of A, B, C, D. So you have to do some thinking. It can be as simple as trade. You saw an opportunity to trade. Somebody has imported. Of course, we discourage imports. We try to talk about things that are made here because we are locally made, group. So maybe somebody has produced something in Nigeria. Maybe Tobi's has made 100,000 beads. He wants to distribute it to different parts of the country. And you say, I have my networks already. So you are using what you have. I have networks across the country. I want to buy 5,000 from her and go and sell in different parts of the country. I know it can work. Or I live in Ghana. I want to buy from Nigeria because it's cheaper in Nigeria. I want to move it and sell to Ghana. I need 200,000. I can do it. and you show us how you can do it, then people judge you. People evaluate this person. What is his history? Has he done anything like this before? Hmm? What is his character? How do we perceive his character? What is his background? If you look at his LinkedIn profile, what is his social media presence like? Is he a selling kind of person? Does he have any knowledge in this area? So we have a panel of judges. Our judges are Uche. Please just say hi if you hear your name so that we know you. Mighty Uche Ipun, he's one of our judges. Chisom Okachuku is one of our judges. Yetunde Yetunde Macaulay. Macaulay. Sorry, let me Yetunde Macaulay is one of our judges. And then Elvis Boateng is one of our judges. Are we together? Did you hear those names? Please type the names in the chat if you heard them. Yes, Uche has responded. Maybe Elizabeth, you type all the names so that everybody sees them. You can even tag them so that everybody knows them. Uche Epu, Yetunde Macaulay, Chisom Ukachuku, Elvis Boateng, and myself. I think we have 5 judges. So we're going to have a Zoom meeting every 2 months, starting in February, where you will come and present your idea that can fit into the budget of 200,000 naira or 2,000 cedis, realistically. And then we'll judge and we'll say, we think this is the best idea. Let's give you the money. We'll give you the money within that week. That same week, you start. But the caveat here is that this is not free money. You are not going to pay it back. You don't need to pay it back, right? You don't need to pay it back. But what you need to do is the next session, which is February, March, April. In April, we expect you to come back and tell us how it is going. If you don't come back in April, we'll blacklist you indefinitely. If you don't come back in April to tell us, okay, I got 200,000 in February, and these are the things, and we will blacklist you, we will disown you. Because our reputation is very important, and we want to build up a story, right? We want to build up a story. So we don't people who will waste our money. Now, so if you come in, you collect the money in February, you have to come back in April to say, this is what I have done so far, and this is how it's going. If you need some help, somebody can advise. We can advise by help. We can maybe connect you to somebody who can help you. We can direct you to a new market, something like that. I mean, we help you, right? But the important thing is that you make sure you are accountable for the money you've received. I hope we're together. Does that make sense? Please let me know. Does that make sense? I hope it's clear. So, yeah, 2Beats is calling me. Elizabeth, help me chat her that I'll call her back. So there has to be accountability. You tell us what you want to do. The judges decide that your idea is the best. If you win the 200, you have to come back the next time we're meeting to tell us how you are progressing. Because you just can't tell them, like, we don't expect to pay back the money, but we expect you to deliver value. The other thing is that, evidence of progress. Thank you, Zoe. Excuse me. We are opening this up. We're going to have a Google form as usual where you will apply to participate, but we're only going to take about 5 people because within a 1-hour meeting, only 5 people can present. So there will be like a pre-assessment. Everybody applies, says, I have this idea, we'll take a few applicants, but we'll just select like 5 of them to present, and then the judges will determine. Then there'll be a little bit of voting as well to balance the judgment. So it's not like all is our brothers and friends that are doing the thing. No, we want to also vote. So you need to attend. Everybody needs to attend to vote. Now, so out of that 5 people, 1 person wins. 1 person wins, he gets 200,000. He also gets 3 months free access to the platform so that he can learn. The second person gets 2 months free access. The third person gets 1 month free access. Because this is not a money prize competition. We are not giving money to everybody. We are putting this 200 to one person who will do something. And that one person, he can't apply again for the next maybe 6 months, because there's no, you can't just be, loading with cash. That's not what we're here for. You can't apply again for the next 6 months. Let other people have the opportunity to also apply and participate. So that's how it's going to work. We are also opening a fund that with a company called not Afro Invest. Elvis didn't update this. We're opening a fund with one of our own, and let me talk about that. With Shield or Uta Ahamifin, I don't know whether it's here. He linked us up with a company he works for, where we will put a big fund, so that even though we are giving out this money on this side, that big fund will act as our corporate fund. And we have three signatories to that account: Elvis Boateng, Yetunde Macaulay, and my younger brother, because I also want to keep it close to me. I don't want to be the one, but I want to keep it close to me. His name is Akuchuku Igiri, right? He's going to be a signatory to that fund. So any fund that leaves that account, 3 people will know about their fund. Now, the reason for that fund is that over time, we will now begin to grow the fund, ask for donors. So if you are in a position that, oh, I don't need this 200, it's chicken change for me, or if you grow into that level, you can also donate into the fund so that other people will benefit from your own success, right? Other people can benefit from your success. So if you want to donate it, so we're going to open a fund for that purpose. So that is not a personal thing now; it is a good thing. So Elizabeth, once again, the signatories to the fund, please drop their name in the chat as well, so that people can know. So we're going to have that fund growing. We're not going to touch it too much within next year, but we're going to have it in such a way that if somebody wants to donate to our fund, he will donate to that account. And Elvis will be the administrator. Elvis Boateng is the administrator for that fund. He'll be working with the person that Shield, that is Otta, has recommended to us. What that helps us do as well is that we're helping each other. So if there's somebody here who you work for an investment company, because he works for an investment company, say, okay, let's just use him and also help him make his numbers, right? So there's that fund that is going to be there. So other people can donate. If you feel that you want to support emerging entrepreneurs, you can put money there so that it's sustainable, because that's one of the challenges we've always had. How do we make sure that this is sustainable, that the whole thing we're doing here is sustainable? We need to be able to do that. Then, okay, so I've talked about 3 months. Yes, and one of the key criteria of participating is that you must have been around for at least 3 months. So if you have anybody who you want to participate, you better invite them to be in the strategy club. And it's open to everyone who is part of the WhatsApp group. It's not limited to those who are paying members. It's open to everyone who's in the WhatsApp group. It's a way of helping you come up so that you can afford $2 a month and learn what can change your life in the long term. So it's for everybody in the WhatsApp group. So it's open, but the person must have been around for about at least 3 months. We're launching in February, and we're going to be having these meetings. We're going to set up a meeting invite every second Sunday of the month. When you get the meeting invite in your mail, accept it. The reason is that if I do the meeting invite in GMT, it will not be the same time. So you need to know what time is it in your own locality, whether you are in Lagos or in Nairobi. So wherever you are, you need to know where. So accept the invite so that you get a reminder at the time of the meeting. You put it on your calendar. It's part of good practice. All right. We will probably release the form for applications in December, right? Yeah, that's when we'll release it. And before then, we will also share the documentation with our stakeholders. That is the judges, the signatories, so that everybody knows what's happening, how we are going to be running it, and they can also contribute to the idea. Okay. what am I missing? So tell me, Elvis, Elizabeth, what am I missing in the information I'm sharing before we take questions? Am I missing anything?
No,
On point.
no, sir, on point.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. All right. So yeah. So I think I've covered with the forms released to our emails. We'll put the form out we'll share to emails. We'll also share to on the WhatsApp group so that you can complete the form, but only one entry per cycle. You expect one entry per cycle. So you have one, think about your idea very clearly and articulate it. Yeah. Thank you, Maz. Any other questions? Any other questions? All right. So what the action point from here is, go and think about an idea that can fit into $200,000, 200,000 naira. Don't worry, very soon we'll be doing $200,000, 200,000 naira. Put it together well. If you want, you can put it in a presentation. That will be fine. You can use Canva or you can use PowerPoint, put it in the presentation, make it like a pitch. Tell us the problem that you're trying to solve. And you don't make it too elaborate because it's a small amount of money. Don't stress yourself too much, but let it be clear that it can work. Right? Do your research. For example, if you are going to do a welding company in Benin, ask yourself, how many welding companies are there in Benin? What is their rate of flow of work? How much are they likely to earn in a month? Can I buy equipment with 200K? And so on. So you think about it very well. So that when you come, because we'll also fire you questions to be sure that you know what you're saying. So you don't go and waste the money. It is not advantageous to us that you waste the money because we want to be able to tell your story. We want to be able to say, yes, this person started with 200,000 and he built a company of 2 million. We want to be able, it helps us to tell that story so that we can also help other people, right? And we are always here to support you in that journey, right? We'll give you access to the platform too so that you can learn, right? So the important thing, that development must happen. So we want to tell your story. So don't be too shallow in terms of, don't daydream. Say, oh, in fact, this business, if you put it 200 million will just come out tomorrow. No, think through it carefully. If you need help, come. Now, it's your choice in terms of the pitch. Yeah, so if you can use Canva to do a presentation, structure it well in the normal pitch structure. Remember the pitch competition we used to do. What is the pitch structure? 7 questions. Huh? What is the question? What is the problem? What is the your background story? What is the problem you're trying to solve? What is the solution you're bringing on board? Right? Remember that? Yeah. No, it's not. What is solution you're trying to bring on board? How? What's the market looking like? etc. So there's that structure of a pitch. You can follow the structure of a pitch. Very simple. The important is to convince us that it can work with 200,000, right? That's the important thing. Convince us it can work. Then people ask questions and then you mean otherwise. Lucky says, where are we to submit our emails? We will share 2 things in 2 media. So we'll definitely get your email. We'll share via email in terms of sharing the form link. We'll also share it in the WhatsApp group. So if you're in the WhatsApp group, you will definitely get the link. And then when you get the link, we will also collect your email using the link. So that's not a big problem. Okay, does it make sense so far? So I said the first action point is to think about what you're going to present. The second action point is if you know somebody that can benefit from the system, let them join today so that by February, they are 3 months. And see, I don't want people to, that's another aspect. I don't want people to join because they're just coming to collect money. People who are serious about growing their lives, that's what we're actually looking for. So we're not going to advertise this on social media. We're not going to say, come and win 200,000. No, it is by referrals. So you have to think, okay, this is my friend. He's doing something great, but he needs a little money to support. Invite him. But we're not going to publish out there that we're going to be giving him 200,000. We don't want people who are just coming to collect money. We want people who are actually growing, building something. Okay, so keep that in mind. So it's our model for publicizing this is referrals. Bring people in, bring people in, bring people in. And that reminds me about our referral model on tscafrica.com. There we actually have a referral model. We have tested it with Elizabeth. If you refer someone, you actually get some reward. But we can talk more about that later. So our 2 action points: prepare your own, your own idea. Second thing, invite someone who is doing something but needs a little push, who really wants to move upwards with their lives. So that's that. For any other questions? Questions or feedback, so that we can wrap up. If you have feedback, if you have something to say, please, you can raise your hands and share. Okay. Any questions or feedback? If not, then we can close the meeting. We can close the meeting and continue the chat. Can the link of this meeting, what we can do is I can upload it to my YouTube channel, and then I'll share the link on the WhatsApp. Yeah, so Elizabeth, please share the WhatsApp group invite link on this right away. Can you do that? Yeah. The WhatsApp group invite link. Lucky is asking for that. How to invite people to the strategy club. Okay. Are you there? Yeah, thank you so much. So you can share this link with anyone you want to. The reason why we use an invite link is that we don't want to just pull people into the group. We're not looking for numbers. We're looking for serious people who want to grow. We're already too many, actually. When I say too many, I'm talking about people who are not invested. They are not ready. They're not really participating. So we're not for them. We can't be for everybody. So we need to find the people who we are for, right? So when you share this link, it means they are deliberately joining the platform. So as for the video recording, we'll put it on YouTube, share the link on the WhatsApp group again, so that others can also understand the flow of the offer. And we're looking forward to it working. We will try it for the first next year, and then we'll evaluate. Is it working? Are we getting the outcomes we expected? etc. All right, in the next, let me borrow 5 minutes extra. Let me just invite some people to speak and to share their thoughts in 30 seconds each. I'm just going to make an open invitation to Elvis, Uche, Yetunde, Chisong, Elizabeth, in that order. Who else? And any other person who wants to say something, please. You can just unmute and share your thoughts so that we know what together. Uche, please go ahead.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, tribe.
Good evening.
I want to share a thought for what is being done. Throwing money around won't make anyone rich. You have to have the intent that you are going to be rich. If you don't have that intent, if we give this away, it won't have an impact in your life. Have a purpose for it. Have a plan for it. And execute that plan. Most of us have a plan. Most of us have a purpose for the money. But once the money gets onto us, there's a lot. Money is a spirit. A lot of things call for it. And the ability to stay disciplined and spend the money right needs to come in. As you have had, blacklisting will come in, and we won't associate with you again. So if you give a beggar on the road $1 million, come back in the next 6 months, he'll be sitting there. Because he doesn't have that mindset of multiplying money, of creating money, of accumulating it, and ensure it works for him. So please, let's be ready for this. Let's give it all the seriousness it needs so that we can all succeed together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's powerful. Powerful. Thank you so much. Okay. Who else? Who's willing to speak? I mentioned some names, but thank you so much, Lucky. Yetunde, Chisom, Elvis, Elizabeth, Chisom, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think I would just
Okay, Elvis, yeah. Go
yeah,
ahead.
good evening everyone, and thanks a lot, Coach K, for everything said so far. So what I just want to emphasize is partly what Mr. Uche has also said. Let's see this as a experience and also as an as a way of empowering one another, as it were. You know, so it's not a case of, oh wow, there's an opportunity for me to win some money by just putting together some document that sound nice on paper. This is because there's a backside to it, which is what Mr. Kenneth also said, which is we are trying to create a story, right? You know, we are trying to tell a story of different people who have made success with 200,000 naira and have actually succeeded in building big businesses, and that is the story that we want to tell on the at the back end. But then the learning experience is that we are not just giving out pitches. You know, we are able to kind of create businesses based on these pitches, right? You know, and this whole process of coming up with the page, going through the process of doing the business, at the end of the day is going to be a learning experience, right? You know, and beyond what we are even doing here, right? It will give you the confidence to be able to do bigger things and set up bigger businesses, because he that is faithful in little will be made ruler over much. So that's just the bit of emphasis that I wanted to, like, as it were, lay on everything that has been said so far. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate. Yetunde.
Okay, I think good evening everyone. Thank you so much, Coach K. Just wanted to, because really I believe that Mr. Uche, right, the first person who spoke already said a lot, and then Elvis had already added some. But I'm just going to add that regardless of what what's it called now? Okay, whatever it is that we do now, maybe we need to create. So it's, of course, for this, it's new to many, and you're hearing it either for the first time or because Strategy Club has been.
Hello? Is it Yetunde that went off for me?
Is it Sunday?
Okay, good. So let's see whether she comes back soon. All right. Yetunde, can you hear us? Okay. All right. So, who else? I think
Yeah.
Chisom, you wanted to speak. Yeah. Well, before
Yeah,
she
good
comes back.
evening,
Yeah.
everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, so for me personally, it's more like it's an advice building on what Mr. Uche has said. So for me, I keep saying that Strategy Club was like how will I put it? Was like the foundation for a lot of things I'm doing right now, career-wise and
Apologies.
entrepreneurship-wise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yetunde,
she's
1 minute.
back.
1 minute. Yeah, 1 minute. Let something that you can continue. We had.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So, and I keep saying it, the very first place I learned how to pitch was in the strategy club, which was Kabila community then. And it wasn't just beyond the money. Yes, I won at that point, but the knowledge I gained from it played a lot of role in winning bigger things. So my advice is, as you come to pitch, don't just come, just erase it from your mind that you're coming to get free money. Because that's usually a mindset a lot of us have when we hear stuff like this, oh, it's free money. And there's something associated with free money. Your mind just goes to splurging it. And there's usually no commitment to actually being careful to actually use that money wisely. Because if you're not careful, you just assume, oh, it's just free money. But thankfully, there are repercussions now attached to it. So hopefully we would all sit up and actually know that this is actually coming from someone and this is meant to be invested in something. So just look at the bigger picture. Like Mr. Kenneth said, this is a success story. But beyond the strategy club telling the story of how 200,000, even you in future, there are a lot of things you could do with that story beyond yourself, motivate others, and be able to tell the story that, okay, this is where I am coming from and this is where I am now. So just take your time if you're interested in the pitch, and just be sure of what you're doing. It's not compulsory that you must compete in every pitch competition. That's what I told myself. There are a lot of competitions I see. I tell myself the truth, I'm not ready for this, and I don't go for it because I know if I eventually do, it will only end up destroying me because I will mismanage it. So be honest with yourself, know where you are, know what you need, and go for just what you need and you're able to handle. So that's just what I want to say.
Beautiful said. Beautifully said. Thank you so much. Yetunde, let's come back to, I think we heard the strategy has been. That's where you stopped.
Okay, sorry about my internet. So I just wanted to add, I'm sure they've said everything, but I just wanted to add, see it as an opportunity to grow and scale. So that if you're able to make a report of these 200, you never can tell. I remember I would always tell people the first funds that I raised in terms of grants, I did the first one. I didn't win. Second, I got to top 5. And the third, I won the money. So if you're able to see it as, okay, so now that you've won the money, then if you're able to make a good report of it, maybe beyond even the strategy club, you'll be able to apply. Because really, one thing about all of these organizations or funders generally, they always ask if you've raised funds before, and you never can tell if they're going to ask you to make a report of that. If you're able to do it well, then they know that, okay, you're not a waster. So I'll also advise that, I don't know if you can hear me.
We can hear you. Can you
hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead, we can
Yes,
hear
we
you.
can hear you.
Okay. All right. My internet is a little bit here. So you want to think of, okay, you want to think of creating surveys to, find out problems that need solutions, and that way you know that you're solving real problems with the money that you're going to get. If it's on your business, maybe what you're currently doing, or you're starting up a new idea, you will have data for it, and then you'll be able to, grow and scale as you proceed in the entrepreneurship journey. So just see it as like everyone already said, don't see it as free money, but see it as an opportunity to grow and scale, and make sure you use it very well. You never can tell. When Tony Lumelu funds, came around, I wasn't even ready. I didn't even know. But because somebody who knew me and knows that I've gone for quite a number, like the UWIN, WINBIS, just asked me to apply. And I applied. I got the money, $10,000. So for me, I just feel if you start now, if you have not done it before, if you start, then you would, I think you'll be able to continue to, just see strategic club as training ground. So this morning will help to train you to learn how to grow. And then as you get, also remember to come give back. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's powerful. I'll wrap up in the next 5 minutes. There's something I forgot. I will have closed by now. There is also a charity component to the fund. We're giving away 50,000, no questions, few questions asked. So it's not for business, but if you in the strategy club, you know somebody who is in dire need, they are not in dire need for business, because what we're trying to do is to focus our charity so that we're not just giving people money here and there aimlessly. We want to focus our charity on the community, the strategy community. That just came to me now. Kabila, the strategy community, right? People who need help. Maybe they have a child in hospital. Maybe they can't afford food. They're not even in a position to think about business. But you can speak for them, and you have been a member of the club. You can speak for them. This person has this need. You have to come and make a case. Then the judges will also say, yes, this is a valid case. Because we'll ask questions like, doesn't the person have any family that can help them? Right? If they don't have a family that can help them, or how did they use the last money, or are they into drugs? Are they wasting money on something? What is their lifestyle? Just to make sure that that's a real charity need. So if you know somebody, like, you bring them, you make a case for them, then we'll also give out 50,000 for that charity case, or maybe one or two charity cases, 50,000. So you have the 200,000 for business, the 50,000 for charity. In both cases, a case must be made. You must prove that is a real need. You must prove there's a real business in terms of 200,000. In terms of 50,000, you must prove that it's a real charity need that cannot be solved in any other way. There's some people that are professional beggars. We're not looking for professional beggars. That's why we rely on members of the community to vouch for them, that this is a person who really needs this, right? So that's another angle to it. So I thought to mention that. Once again, Elvis and Elizabeth, did I forget anything in the plan? You didn't remember that one. All right, so later this month, we will share the document with the key stakeholders, our judges and our signatories. And then in January, we'll probably also share portions of it or a version of it with everyone, so that you can always see what the terms are. And we'll try to include it in the form too, so that you sign up. That I understand that this is not free money. I'm going to be blacklisted if I don't use it well. We are not obligated to give you money. Don't come and harass us and say that you are not going to challenge the decision of the judges. This is not a court. We don't have time for all that. So we're going to put the terms on all that, so that you sign up to the terms and collect. Kabila, I think I'll change the club community. Zoe, sounds better. Anyway, so so the next steps now is those steps, and then we'll take it from there. After this, we'll share the recording, and we'll also share the link. So invite people to join, real people, genuine people. Remember our values: veracity, vibrancy, and variety. Variety will come from a broad range of backgrounds. Veracity will focus on truth and trust. Business is based on trust. Vibrancy, we are resilient, and we're determined to make it. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. God bless you, and God keep keeping you. As we close out, we'll continue the conversations in the WhatsApp group, and really think about joining the paid platform. I think it will help you. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye, and see you soon. Okay.